Hey. Thank you so much for joining me today on Market Faith. Right. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of Market Faith today. Once again, my name is Deji Agboade and I'm your host, and I'm delighted to welcome you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. Now, as you know, we've been talking a lot about the role and the impact of people in our business, and how people affect and people are critical in the things that we do. So today I want to try to help entrepreneurs by giving some sort of an idea or a framework or things to consider, more like it, when you are considering hiring new people. How do you know you need to consider hiring people? Now, please take note that this conversation is about, when to start thinking about hiring. It doesn't necessarily mean you should go ahead and hire first. You may find other ways to find solutions to some of these things before you actually go ahead and hire people, because hiring people is a very, very big deal. It's easy to hire, it's not easy to fire. So you need to be careful when you are hiring people. Number one, to ensure that you have the right people in the right places, right? You have the right people on the bus, like Stephen Covey would say. You have round pegs in round holes, and not the other way around. Okay, so how do you know that now you need to start considering hiring people and when not to hire people? So that's what I'm trying to talk about in today's video in the next couple of minutes. But let me give an overarching principle here. First and foremost, I want to say this: you only hire people when you have the capacity to make more money. Business is about making money. You don't hire people just to fill in space. You hire people when the capacity and the ability to make more money is evident, right? And that is one way you can ensure that the people that you're bringing on board were all focused towards the same goal of ensuring that the organization is doing well and that the organization is excelling. Okay, so I'm going to mention about 5 things to think about when you want to start thinking about hiring people, and maybe 5 things also, or 5 ways or 5 reasons not to hire people as well. So let's dive into that. Number 1, when should you start thinking about hiring people? Number 1, when you are not able to pay attention to another potential growth area in your business. Now, what does that mean? You have a business, you're running a business, but you can see opportunities. You can see other areas of growth within that same business, but you are not able to take advantage of them because you are really, very bogged down, or you are very deep into some other things, right? Not necessarily just bogged down, because that may just be a structuring issue. In other words, you've not dimensioned your time properly, and so you can't focus on some other things. But when you've done that and you have maxed out your time, and now it's a conversation around other opportunity areas, but you don't have the bandwidth to take advantage of those opportunities, that's one way, or that's one time when you know that you probably need to start thinking about hiring someone within your organization. The second thing is when you are turning customers away. If you're in a position where you are turning away customers, these are not just customers who want to come and do something that, the pricing is not right or anything like that. These are people who have come with money, they've come with cash, they're willing to pay, but you have to turn them down because of capacity issues and all those types of things. That's one time you have to consider whether you need to hire people. Again, it doesn't always mean that you have to hire them. It just means that it's time to start really thinking about it. When you're turning down customers in large numbers, you really need to think about it. Do I need to hire people in my business at this time? The third time to think about it is when you find great talent that can be strategic to your needs, to your business. There are specific skills that you need in your business. If you find that particular skill, right, you need to consider hiring those people. And the reason why is that, if those skills are not the kind of skills that come around or that are always readily available, it's important that you try and get those people on board as quickly as you possibly can, so that they can be part of your system and they can help your business grow and scale. So there are specific skills that are needed, but you don't have those skills, you need to think about hiring. There is a strategic skill that you have identified and maybe you don't even need him today, but you can need him in a month or two's time. It's always very tricky to do that, but I think you can consider it because again, if you get solid people into your business, at the end of the day, they deliver greater value than what it costs you to keep them. So that's the third reason to think about the possibility and the potential of hiring people into your organization. Number 4, if customers are complaining, all right? The statistics says that out of 26 customers, only 1 will complain about your service before they leave you, meaning that the remaining 25 will not say a word, they will just leave. Now, when you find that one person that is complaining, that means there are potentially 25 other customers who are also dissatisfied, but they are not saying anything, right? What you need to do, right, is to look at those issues, right? Now, what kind of complaints? Because it's not every complaint that customers make that you need to, go out there and say you want to hire someone for, right? But what kind of complaints are the kind of complaints that when customers make, you need to start thinking? The first one is quality, right? Quality in terms of the quality of the goods or the service that you're providing. If customers are complaining, one of the things you may need to do to solve that problem is to introduce the head of quality assurance, who will then ensure that they check the quality of those things before they go out, because you understand that these people eventually will help you make more money, because it costs you 6 times more to get a new customer than to retain one. All right. So it's very, very important that when your customers are complaining about quality, you pay very close attention. The second thing, if your customers are complaining about, is payment mix-up, right? Meaning that I paid some money, but nobody has captured my payment. Nobody has told me that my payment is missing, my voucher is missing, whatever it is. When all those things start to happen, you may need to start thinking about someone. And the reason why is that means most likely your accounting system is in a complete mess, all right? And if your accounting is not in a good shape, what business are you running in the first place, okay? So when people are complaining about payment mix-ups, right, that's one of the times you need to step back and think about it again. Do you need to hire someone at this time? The third thing when customers say you need to pay close attention to is that you don't care. Now, many times customers say you don't care when they are trying to reach you and they cannot reach you. Right? They've sent you a text, they've sent you WhatsApp messages, they've left you a message on your social media platform, they've called you, you're not picking up your phones, and all those types of things. It's a very dangerous place to be, to have your customers complain and say that you don't care about them. You never want to be in that situation, all right? So that's one time also to start thinking about hiring, okay? The fifth time to start thinking about hiring someone fully is when maybe a contract role has evolved into a full-time role, all right? Before you had someone coming 2 days a week, 1 day a week to do this thing, but now that role has now become something more permanent, that we need someone 5 days a week to do it, right? Then at that time, it's a good reason and one of the times where you want to really think about hiring someone in the organization. Now, what are the reasons not to hire? Okay, because I think that if we talk about reasons to consider hiring, there are also reasons why we should not consider hiring at any point at this point in time, especially if these are just the only reasons and nothing else. All right. So, number 1, do not hire just because you are stressed. Do not hire just because you are desperate. All right. Do not hire just because you want to be free, okay, right? I find that many people, when they are overwhelmed by certain things and the situations that are going on around them, they quickly want to go out there and bring on board anybody. Say, look, let me just get in anybody. Let them just do this thing, I beg. I'm tired, okay? All right? Don't hire just because you're tired. Don't hire because you're stressed. Because apart from the fact that you may be making a mistake, you may be hiring the wrong person as well. Okay, you may not be thorough in your recruitment process, your mind is not very sharp and all those types of things. So don't just hire people because you want to be free. What is the definition of freedom? You say, oh no, this business is taking too much of my time, I need to hire someone. No. What is that thing, right? What is the reason why how will that person's arrival give you the freedom that you are looking for? Because many times people hire people and they've just become bloated, and the freedom they're looking for is really not there at all. All right. It's a trap to think that, oh, I need a vacation, so I need to hire someone. No. There's a tendency to think that way, but don't fall for it. All right, very important. Okay, now the second reason why not to just hire. You don't just hire just because you want, there's someone, the person will be very busy. Okay, I've seen people say that, look, if I hire someone, this guy will be very busy, he'll have so much to do. Listen, business is not about being busy, it's about being productive. The question is this: will this person be productive? Being busy, you can be busy doing nothing. All right, so people can be busy doing nothing productive. So you don't hire people just because you want them to be busy. You hire people because you are looking for productivity, right? You can be busy digging a trench and closing it back, right? You are busy, but how productive? What are you doing to add value to the bottom line of the organization? So you don't hire people just because they will be busy. You hire people because you're looking for greater productivity and greater efficiency. Number three reason why not to hire is everybody else that is running my type of business has XYZ role. In other words, everybody that I know has a PA, so I also need a PA. Everybody that I know has a marketing guy, so I also need a marketing guy. Listen, yes, people may have those people, right? But they may be, or someone says something like, oh, it just makes sense. Listen, does it make sense or it makes sense? Does it make sense or it makes sense? In other words, does it make money or it just makes sense? Because not everything that makes sense makes money. All right. It's very important that you are careful and you are selective about whether or not that you hire. So the fact that everybody has an EA or everybody has this or everybody has that is that does not mean you should go ahead and get those people as well. They may be asking the wrong questions. They may be doing the wrong things. All right. So it's very, very important. Number 4, I can afford it. I can afford it is not the reason to hire. Okay. All right. Don't hire people just because you can afford it, because you may be throwing money away. All right. Don't hire people just because you can afford to bring them on board, because you may be throwing money away. I'll give you a classic example. In the Bible talks about Moses and Aaron. God sent Moses to go and deliver the children of Israel. Moses decides that, look, I'm not eloquent enough, so I need to hire someone else. So Moses goes to God, his employer, and says, Mr. Employer, I need you to hire someone else to bring on my team. God says, look, it's you that I've sent on an errand, not anybody else. He said, look, I'm not eloquent, I can't talk, just bring somebody else on the team. God grants Moses' wish and brings Aaron on board on the team. But that same Aaron was his biggest problem further down the line when he was even trying to obey God. What am I trying to say to you? The person that you bring on your team today, who you did not need but you brought anyway, can be the source of your biggest problem in the future. So you need to be very careful. When you are hiring people, you don't hire people just because you can afford it, because you may be paying for lack of peace by hiring certain types of people. So you don't hire people just because you can afford it. You hire people because they can deliver, they can be productive, and they can make the bottom line look better. The last reason why you don't hire people is because the person needs a job. All right? Don't hire people just because they need a job. They can get a job anywhere else. Help them get a job somewhere else. Be their referral person. Be their guarantor if you like them that much. Whatever you like, do. But don't bring them on board into your organization just because they need a job. Again, this is one of the hallmarks of the difference between somebody that is building a business that is built to last and a business that is built to die. All right? Check out my video on built to last versus built to die. Okay? You don't just bring people on board because they're your cousins, they're your brothers, they're your sisters, and they're your friends, etc. No. You bring them on board because they're the best at what they do, they can deliver value, and they can help your organization. Don't be overly sentimental, especially as a small business person. I know you want to help people, right? But consider helping them in other ways, not necessarily having to bring them on board in your business. If they can add value to your business, by all means, but it doesn't have to be the reason why you hire. I hope these 10 things have been helpful. 5 reasons to hire, 5 reasons not to hire. All right. Put a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it has added value to you. And please send us an email as well at feedback@MarketFaith.Online. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.